For creatures great and small, the Delaware is a river of life. Life forms in the millions can be found even in the smallest section of river, with the tiniest having the greatest numbers.
There's several hundreds to even thousands of aquatic insects per square yard. In any given square yard or even a square foot out there in the river, there's probably 20 or 30 different species in 1 square foot, from things like diatoms, which are single-celled plants, and they grow on top of the rocks out in the middle of the river. They range in size from that to big dragonflies, which are several inches long, or hellgrammites, which are 3–4 inches long.
These countless billions of insects and organisms form the first link of what guarantees the continuation of all life along the river, the food chain.
A lot of insects eat leaves and other kinds of plants that fall into the small streams, and then in places where there's enough sunlight coming onto the river, like there is behind me, the insects will eat the small plants that are growing on the rocks and substrate out there, and then other insects will eat those insects.
But all this eating of one's neighbor doesn't end with bug dining on bug. In fact, for an even larger species, bugs are where the food chain starts. The way nature has it figured out, a large number of bugs always adds up to a large number of fish. The Delaware River is home and habitat for dozens of species of fish. So many fish, in fact, that the Upper Delaware corridor is recognized by marine biologists as one of the finest fishing rivers in the northeastern United States.
The Delaware River is home to several species of trout, which tend to be more solitary fish, and they prefer colder, deeper water, whereas the American shad is more of a schooling fish, and they prefer to stay in the rifts and in the eddies.
Also found in eddies along the Delaware are small and largemouth bass, while walleye and striped bass are partial to the colder water of deeper holes.
The larger species of fish found in the river, such as pickerel and muskies, tend to prefer the shallower, more weedy sections of the river.
Now, perhaps one of the strangest fish found in the Delaware is the bowfin. This prehistoric-looking critter with rows of sharp teeth hunts not only along the shorelines, but on them.
The weird thing about the bowfin is the bowfin has a lung, so it can not only breathe underwater, but it can breathe outside of water too. It doesn't have like an air sac like a typical fish. So on damp nights or rainy nights, they'll actually walk out of the water, crawl along the shore, walk up through the grass, and they'll look for insects and snakes and toads and frogs and even mice nests. If they can get into a mouse nest, they'll eat every one of the mice.
Now, fish aren't the only creatures to swim the Delaware. The river is also home, although gender segregated, for the American eel. The American eel averages in size from 1/2 to 1 1/4 pounds and can measure up to 4 feet in length. Females live most of their lives in the fresh water of the northern reaches, while males prefer the salt water of the lower river estuary.
We have a large population of American eels in the river, and in late September to early October, they all migrate out at this time of year, and they go hundreds of miles out to the Sargasso Sea, which is like south of Bermuda. It's presumed that they mate hundreds of feet below the surface of the ocean.
A wide variety of amphibians can also be found in and around the shores. Numerous species of frog call the river home, as do newts and salamanders. Box and wood turtles are also common to the region. Now, there's one kind of turtle found in the Delaware River people are going to want to avoid, especially swimmers.
I would recommend that people respect snapping turtles. They are very powerful animals with strong jaws, and they can be up to 40 pounds. They're by far the largest inland turtle in the continent, so they're very, very dangerous if you do harass one.
While you're avoiding snapping turtles, you may also want to steer clear of the many species of snakes that inhabit the Delaware and its shorelines, 2 of which are poisonous and potentially deadly. Although technically land dwellers, timber rattlesnakes and copperheads are known to visit the river to drink or hunt. Many people are under the impression that a breed of poisonous cottonmouth also lives along the river, but that's just what this type of water snake wants you to think.
The northern water snake puts on an aggressive display. It will flatten out its body and its head to kind of mimic a poisonous snake.
When we come back, we'll look at what kind of wildlife inhabits the Delaware Valley region, including the American bald eagle, white-tailed deer, and black bear.